Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everybody. This is Zulu Gullah here. Like, share, subscribe. I just wanted to do one of the videos on WAP. I've been holding out because I wanted to do two videos on it, and one half is what I'm addressing today. WAP, the issue of WAP is not a problem for adults of the last three plus generations. It's not a problem for men of game. We know what we're dealing with. All it does is basically let you know how to use a female. Okay, and we know what's going on in relationships, dating, and marriage in the society. We know the numbers, we know the negative statistics. So all it does is confirm is how you need to proceed. Uh, you look for your red flags, you observe, and when you see one of these type females, guess what? It's all fun, games, very little money spent, nothing really invested, definitely no feelings and emotions. And you keep it moving. You keep it moving. That's what it is. Uh, if female, I mean, I'd rather for a female to openly display what I need to know so I know how to proceed versus bait and switch or her being covert. Yes, display it openly. So that way, if I choose to engage you, then I know that I'm going to have fun. It's going to be temporary and I'm gone. Okay. And it is what it is. We know that this product came uh, of recent decades. I'm assuming the last the last three plus generations really. Everybody kind of focuses on millennials and one half of Gen X and then Gen Z, but I'm here to tell you, man, like this was in the making uh, in the late '60s and '70s, man. This was in the making, man. This kind of took place with the hippie movement. You know what I'm saying? Free love, drug use, lots of sex. Hell, I believe the porn industry was at the height in the '80s. They started a lot of wild shit in the '70s in the porn industry. So they want to make a case for men been doing this for a while, promoting this and talking about uh, women in a negative light. I grew up on that Too Short and that old NWA and stuff like that. And what it was is, see, a lot of people want to say that, but the men spoke back then, late '70s, early '80s, when you seen the beginning of the hypergamy, extremes of women. Okay, and dudes used to get treated bad. So those dudes just basically, you know what I'm saying, talked about or vented in rap their mistreatment based on the fact that, okay, you don't have this and you don't have that, and they observed the first wave of hypergamy, and luckily they had rap, you know, to express that. They had rap, a lot of guys can't rap. We don't have the voice that we used to have back then. That was a big thing too. We had that voice, but luckily we got YouTube now. We got different platforms and stuff that we can go to. But that's where that came from. Here's two things about that, right? When they try to point the finger at men when we had been talking about that, all we were doing was, like I said, revealing hypergamy, extreme hypergamy back then. And another thing is, uh, the women that you grew up with, went to school with, they would date older guys along with their hypergamy. You know what I'm saying? So they scoffed at you, turned their nose up at you, and as you got older and better with time, then they want to circle back around and say, "Hey, oh, how you doing? Um, I remember you and this and that." Then they want to be interested, right? I've had a lot of ladies I went to school with. You know, I've blossomed, late bloomer, almost 6 foot. Look, 5 to 10 years younger than what I am, and I'm in shape. And they've had kids. They're fat, out of shape, and all of a sudden they want to be interested, but they forgot how they treated you when you were younger. They chased an older guy, and they were very hypergamous, and that's where our voice back then came from. And I mean, they were right, you know. And just because women didn't have the voice or the sexual expression, they couldn't make the connection from the fact that, hey, well, look, you're doing it anyway. You're just not doing it openly in mainstream media. But the guys that had the voice for a long time had been telling everybody how these women are, So yeah, WAP is good. The gap on game, we know what's going on. Now the real victim is the kids, right? Because kids aren't gonna have a chance in dating, relationships, and marriage if they get exposed to this early. And they're not gonna be genuine, of good moral character, pure in heart, to really, help build families, which extends the community, which extends society. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real victim here, because when I was growing up, I did have hopes of being married, starting a family, being monogamous, but I had to find out the hard way that that wasn't the reality, and that, even though the elders that I came up under and that I seen have successful marriages and relationships and work together as a team to build a household, uh, it's just not that. So, and that's where it is. I can accept that. I can accept that. So I have no problem with WAP, other than, just don't let it affect the kids. Give kids a chance to decide if they want to be traditional and cultural. Uh, that's my thing on that. But other than that, for all adults, I mean, if you don't want to deal with it, don't deal with it. But it shouldn't be a problem for the adult male that's up on game, because really all they're doing is bringing into fruitation what we have been speaking about. But nobody never really understood our perspective. And I hope I broke that down, that we learned about the extreme hypergamous nature of women growing up. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it was brewing. The hypergamous nature you see now was brewing then, and you really got to think about it. A young guy can't even date a girl his age, because she's dating older guys and she's chasing a guy who has the cars, the clothes, the money, all that stuff, you know. And why wouldn't guys not speak out about that? If guys so happen to rap, even though we didn't have, like I said, all these different avenues of media back then, if guys rapped about it, it is what it is. So that's where it comes from. But I'm gonna get on out of here, man. I got things to do. I'm gonna drop another WAP video. Y'all gonna like it. And like, share, subscribe. It's Zulu Gullah. I'm out. Have a good day.